Hello and welcome to another video from Yog Games. This is going to be the devlog number 4, and we're going to start where we left off in the last video, which is with the equipment, which is now finished, quote unquote. This is just the first implementation of it. And by finished, I mean that we can actually move items from the inventory to any space on the equipment, and they will stay there. And then we can switch between combat styles, and we can add the different new items that we want to have there, and then we can switch to another combat style and have the items move there also. And then if we switch within the combat styles, we can see which are the items that we have, and those will also change the abilities if there were to be changing. So that's for where we left off last week. And for new things also, I don't know if you can notice it, but now we have shadows. All around the world, we have these shadows that are casting from the blocks that you can, well, you cannot actually toggle them on off, but for you to visually see them, I added this neat thing that basically displays where these shadows should be, and you can see that they are casting these shadows. And it basically gives a really depth view into the actual game. Another thing that I did, which is mostly for me to check out, is I created an alphabet, basically. So I created two alphabets, this one and this one, and I basically ask them to the social media which one people prefer, if this one or this one. There's also another example with a longer word. And people mostly prefer this first one, which basically this is the one that people didn't like that much, and this is the one that people like the most. And basically, the main difference is that, as you can see in the first one, you only have one kind of these edges from the block, and with the other one you have all of them. The inspiration for this kind of alphabet is basically that the people that will live in this world will see everything as blocks, as you can see for the game itself. So it will be blocky. So I like to have these blocks views, and also the edges that you can see here is like the isometric perspective of anything, any block. So it's a play between the block and the isometric perspective. And I created this alphabet. So this is going to be in the game at some point. Right now, it's not on the game, and it will most likely be used as any language, of anything that you find in the game will have these inscriptions. Most likely, the name that you choose for your player will have also these inscriptions, so you know which is the name that you actually have in the language of the people living there. Still have to find all the lore, but mostly you'll see that. And potentially the magic will also be related to things like this, but for that we will see. And then the other thing that I did is I made a release. So if you want to play the game with the current versions that I have, you can do it right now. You just have to go to well, my page on Itchio, which is linked down below, and you will be able to play this current version that I've been showing you in the videos. Beware, this is still a prototype, so it's even not an actual game. It's just a wall and a few things that you have around. So I've also created this Steam account. So in the close future, I will most likely have this Steam page up. And the last thing is what I'm gonna do next. So I had this preloaded, but now just I have to load it again. I've created this dependency graph, which I'm gonna display also on the social media just to ask the question, which is mostly all the features that I have on the game, or that I want to have, sorry, on the game, and how do they depend between each other. Not hardly depend, so it's not that I cannot do this one without having the connection done, but it's something that I have to keep in mind. So for me, visually to know, okay, if I want to work with Slayer, the skill of Slayer, I need to have skills implemented. For that, I need to have on Slayer, as it's basically a skill meant for you to kill enemies. I need to have the enemies, and for to have the enemies, except from what I have right now, which is summoning them as in command, I need to have zones and biomes because the enemies will depend on the zone and on the biome. And also for to have zones and biomes, I need world generation. So at the end, if I want to start doing anything on Slayer, I would most likely need to work with world generation, then the zones, the biomes, and the enemies that will hold that will be held on those biomes, and depending on the zone will be harder or weaker. So that's for me really interesting because visually I can know that if I want to work on a specific feature, which are the things that more or less everything is interconnected at the end, but which are the main dependencies that I will have to do something. For example, if I want to work with the in-game menu, I don't need to work in anything else because it's just related to the menu. If I want to work with inventory, which is already done, it's nothing. It's not connected to anything else. With the main screen, there are a few things like the game modes that it's connected with. So if I want to work with different game modes that the game will have itself, some harder and some easier, I need to first work with the main screen when you log in, which right now there's no main screen. It just opens the game. So yeah, I will most likely post this on social media, asking the question if what would you like to see, if there's anything specific that you would like me to work on, because at the end I want to have everything that is in here on the game. So basically, yeah, if there's anything specific, then I will start working with that. So that will be all for this video, as it's not that many features because yeah, it's this Christmas and New Year season, so there's not much time that I have to work with. But yeah, that will be it. Thank you very much. Give it a like and subscribe. Bye bye. See you. Bye.